We're joined today by Ian Prentice, Managing Director of Technologies Metals Australia. Ian, thanks for your time.
Thanks, David. Great to be with you.
Vanadium. From a commodity point of view, why vanadium and what's the macro importance?
So yeah, look, it's a really important metal in this, the transition to net zero. So critical mineral, mainly used in steel, but the more of it you put into steel, less steel you need for application, so you're going to get massive benefits in that. But the real growth side's in batteries. So there's large scale, long duration energy storage, so the vanadium redox flow batteries. So that's where, that's going to make a really big difference over the next 10, 20 years as we do this transition.
You have the word technology in the company name. Clearly you're focused on the downstream processing opportunity with the battery, as you mentioned. Why take that course and how much value does it add to what you're trying to do?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things there. One's really connecting with the market, and so the battery guys, to be able to say, well, we can produce some high purity electrolyte in our home market really supports the battery guys into entering that marketplace. So vanadium batteries are a little bit unique. It's a large volume of electrolyte that is the active component in the battery. So you really want to be producing that close to where you're going to build a battery. So our view is if we can be producing this really high purity electrolyte, we can be very cost competitive, but we also bring the battery guys into our market, and so it sort of grows the vanadium market for us as well as supporting that side of it. So and we feel very strongly that we can get a really good margin in that business. So really low cost producer of the primary vanadium, that will flow through into a really cost competitive vanadium electrolyte, but also for us generate some good margins.
And this is all happening in Western Australia. What's the opportunity and how well endowed is the infrastructure to enable you to grow into this opportunity?
Yeah, it is happening in Western Australia, and it is a good question, Dave. Because, we're going to build a large chemical processing facility out in the midwest of Western Australia. So there's certainly challenges with that, and we're working with government agencies to really support us in that. The downstream side is relatively modest, as opposed to looking at a lithium scenario where the downstream is a big investment. For us, the big investment is at the mine site. Producing the really high purity vanadium at the mine site, that's what drives it. And then the downstream, which we'll do somewhere close to transport infrastructure, that's not a big cost in the whole scheme of things.
And this is more than an idea or a concept. How advanced are you in the battery development?
Yeah, so we've been working with our technology partner, LE System, out of Japan for the last 2 years on this. So we've actually taken our product all the way through to producing electrolyte, which demonstrates to the market that we can produce one of the best quality electrolytes going around. And I guess the flow on from that is then entering into agreements with battery manufacturers. So demonstrating that, yes, once we're up and running and doing all this, we can provide you that. So on Monday of this week, we announced an MOU with Delectrik, which is an Indian vanadium redox flow battery manufacturer that's going through massive growth in that market. So really big opportunity in that space. And for us, it ties in really well with our Tata Steel MOU that we announced back in October of last year. So that Indian market we see is really important in the growth in vanadium, and having those two agreements is really good for us.
And importantly, the finance, always the biggest hurdle. You have a strong finance solution there ready when needed.
Yeah, so again, I guess part of what we do is really building putting the blocks in place to really to grow from. So we've got the Danish Export Credit Agency, EKF, that is supporting us to financing up to about 150 million Australian dollars, which is linked to equipment purchase from FL Schmidt. FL Schmidt are the leaders in processing of vanadium, so they've been doing all our test work since 2018, so fantastic relationship there. Tying that through to the Export Credit Agency support, as you say, great starting position for the financing. We also have our RCF, Resource Capital Funds, as our major shareholder, sitting on the register with a bit over 17%. So again, you've got that side of it on the equity side where you've got a really supportive shareholder base that can help drive that funding side as well.
Where to from here? What should investors be focusing on over the next 6 to 12 months?
So I guess we're well into what we're calling an implementation phase for the project. So the next piece of news that we'll be looking at delivering will be around reserve upgrade. And that ties into the work we're doing right now from the engineering point of view. We've engaged what we've called our preferred tenderers. GR Engineering have been engaged as our constructor. Iron Mine Contracting as the site establishment group, and they'll all work with FL Schmidt, and pulling all that together, reserve will come out, then that'll flow through to an updated financial model, and that's what we're going to be then financing on the back of that.
A world-class project, a clear downstream opportunity, significant partners in place, a company definitely worth watching. TMA, Ian, thanks for your time.
Fantastic, thanks David.